I've always been fascinated by horror. Most sensations seem to lose their pang, that a strong mental stimulation that makes you sit at the edge of your seat after you have experienced them long enough, but horror never fails to make me feel something, whether it's disgust, terror, or heartache. To be clear though, when I say I'm fascinated by horror, I don't mean cheap jumper scares or someone with a knife running after you. Albeit, these are terrifying experiences to have, but are they more terrifying than realizing that everyone you love secretly hates you? Or that no one loves you to begin with? Or maybe that you're completely alone and helpless? Now, if these urban, everyday, and most terrifying kinds of horror are your cup of tea, I would like to recommend to you a hot cup of matcha in the form of an anime series. Now, anime is somewhat notorious for being a medium into which horror doesn't really translate well. But there is a certain horror anime that has always managed to give me goosebumps, as well as making my heart shiver, shudder, and then quietly crumble to dust as I weep in a corner, having been shown the unutterable darkness that lurks in the human heart. In the series aptly named Mononoke, we witness Kusuri-san, the medicine seller, wander around and purify mononoke. What are mononoke? I hear you shouting into the void. Well, mononoke are the vengeful spirits that come to being from human karma, and the lovely darkness that sits quietly in your heart is scratching the walls of sympathy and rationality, hoping to make itself manifest. But what makes this series succeed where every other series fails miserably? Well, it's not that complicated actually. It's called having a unique style, an identity. This series has a unique, traditional Japanese theatrical style, and at times you feel like you're watching a kabuki being performed on a stage. This theatrical style ushers you right into a warm and comfortable seat, just to then prick your heart with the oddly familiar characters and scenarios, before revealing Makoto, the truth, and Kotowari, the regret. And with the reveal, you feel ironclad talons grip your heart and crush it. As the incessant beating of your heart finally stops, you find peace, quiet, as the mononoke is purified and moves on to a better place. Part of what makes this series succeed in depicting horror is that it takes full advantage of the many strengths that the medium of anime can offer, and creates some sort of a special theatrical production, something akin to some of the first cinematic creations where everything on the stage appears to be tangible, but then the unreal, things that could only happen in a dream, tear apart the fabric of reality and create a collage where lucidity mixes with unclarity and creates something that can only be described as a dream, or more accurately, a nightmare. During the series, we are introduced to a cast of characters whose appearance changes, but the characteristics remain familiar, creating this uncanny sense of familiarity which becomes a mask for the unreal to wear. And as the music starts to play and as the show progresses, we witness as the mononoke slowly reveal their countenance. But the most terrifying thing is that what we see is a mirror, reflecting what lurks in the hearts of the familiar characters. It's as if the characters we thought we knew, we thought were familiar, were only a bunch of strangers all along. But what makes all art emotionally moving is its relatability. It is the fact that we see pieces of ourselves and our experiences within a piece of art that makes us weep or jump from our seats in a joyous cry. The stories that are told on the stage of Mononoke are heartbreakingly relatable. The characters and the plots are the things that we ordinary humans have experienced or can sympathize with, which makes the horrific stories feel at times a bit too close to heart for comfort, but I've always loved it when a story makes me squirm in my chair. Believe me when I say I can wax poetics about familiarity, relatability, and the dreamlike quality of this series all day long, but when it comes to animations feeling like they have a life of their own, there is almost nothing more important than the awe-inspiring skill that the voice actors bring to a project. The voice acting in this series is nothing short of awe-inspiring and truly gives life to all the characters and the plots. I think Mononoke is the best horror anime series that I have had the chance to watch, and I highly recommend you experience this amazing piece of art for yourself. And make sure to let me know if you disagree, because I would absolutely love to find a series that will terrify and move my heart as much as, or even more than, this series does. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. and I hope I'll see you in another video.